Good morning, and I'm going to pick up where I left off in my last sessions in the book of 2 Thessalonians chapter 1, and I want to read starting again at verse 1. It says, "Now we beseech you, brethren, by the coming of course your English translation says our Lord Jesus Christ, but originally in the original text it was said, by our coming of Yahushua HaMashiach, the Messiah, and by our gathering together unto him." The coming of the Messiah is in two phases. The first phase is the gathering together unto him, which Paul makes reference to right here in this verse. He mentions the coming and the gathering together. Again, the coming of the Messiah, of the Mashiach, is in two phases. He comes first for his bride. He comes to catch us up to be with him, fulfilling a promise that he made to the church in John chapter 14, verses 1, 2, and 3. I've said this on other videos that I've done, that the rapture was never promised to the nation of Yasharel or Israel. He never promised Israel that they would come and be with him where he was. Now, he told them that he would come and be and dwell with them in Jerusalem to rule and reign forever, and that he would live among his people. He also promised the church, though, that he would come to take us to be where he was, which is in heaven, or Shamayim, to be with the Father. Now, a lot of people have a hard time reconciling these two statements because it sounds like they could not be true. As I mentioned, the Creator himself is omnipresent. He can be at multiple places at different times. He's not a man, just like you and I, where we're restricted to where we can be at one place at one time. He can be at multiple places, and so he'll be able to fulfill these promises to the church, where he promised that we, in John chapter 14, that we would be caught up to meet him, and that he would come back for us, and that we would be with him forever. Now, he promised the nation of Israel that he would dwell among them, and that he would rule with them on the earth. So, like I said, the rapture was never promised to the nation of Yasharel. Now, a Jew or an Israelite or a Yahudim can be a part of the promise of the rapture if they become a believer before the rapture takes place. In other words, if they put their faith and trust in the Messiah and they truly are born again of the Ruach, of the Spirit, then they become part of what the Scriptures refers to as the church. Now, a lot of people get real caught up in the English word church, and they say that word is not in the original text, of course, because it's an English word. But the actual meaning of it is, of course, in the Greek it would have been ecclesia. In the Hebrew, the word would be kahel. But essentially what the word means, it means a set-apart group of people. And the Messiah in Matthew chapter 16 said that he was going to build his assembly, or his kahel, upon the fact of who he was. I've shared that many times in other videos that I've done, that the church comprises of Jew and Gentile believers who come to faith in the Messiah before the rapture takes place. And so all those that have died before us and all those that are alive on the earth and remain at the gathering together will be caught up to meet the Messiah and the Mashiach in the air, and so shall we ever be with him. What words of comfort. And of course that's what Paul said, that said, comfort one another with these words. So if you're hearing my words and you know for sure that you're saved, that you're born again, you are going in the rapture. All true believers. I say true believers because there are a lot of people who attend church who do, quote, religious things. They might even be a pastor of a church. But are they truly born again? Do they have the Spirit? And that will be the distinguishing mark of who the church is, because the Spirit is only given to those that truly believe in the Messiah, Mashiach. And so Yahushua himself said that he was build his assembly upon the fact of who he was. He told Peter, he said, upon this rock in Matthew chapter 16, or upon this revelation, will I build my church, for those who would recognize who he is and who he was, and for those that truly do, then this is the assembly that he's been building now for about 2,000 years. We're going to be soon caught up to meet our Mashiach, our Messiah, in the air, and so shall we ever be with him. And this is a message of comfort for those who have been born again. For those who do not know him, it's time to now today is the day of salvation. Today is the time for you and I, or for you that don't know that you're saved, to truly make that commitment to him, to believe on the Mashiach, the Messiah, Yahushua HaMashiach, our salvation. Thank you for your time this morning. We'll pick this up at our next time together. Please continue to share my videos, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. And I love you. Yahuwah loves you. And again, look forward to our next time together. Shalom.